Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for agreeing to have this interview with us this afternoon.
Good afternoon as well.
If you could just for the record state your full name, your country of birth and your full date of birth as well.
Yeah. Well, my name is John Aubrey Lee. Birth 1936. Country of birth is Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Parish was born in Westmoreland.
Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
All right. Can you tell me something about your family then, where you were born, brothers and sisters, mother and father?
My father and mother is from Westmoreland, parish of Westmoreland.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the only one son, from my mother and father. They have more, but they die, early. So I'm the only son.
Did you know them?
No, I didn't know them. That's all I can say.
So did you actually grow up with any brothers or sisters?
No, not really. I grew up as a lone child.
All right.
Yeah.
So how was that? How did you feel about being an only child?
It was lonely at times, lonely. I had was to make friends with other kids from outside, from my uncle side, They have boys, so we used to, get along.
Right. So
yeah.
you played mostly with your cousins?
Yes, with the cousins, yeah.
What type of things did you get up to? What did you do?
Lots of things. We used to now in the country you don't have a gas stove. In my days you don't have a gas stove. You have to go to the bushes to get firewood to cook the dinners.
Yeah.
So we used to go and look the woods and shoot bird meanwhile with the slingshot. We used to have it. Or we call it slingshot or catapult. We used to shoot birds and tricks like that and
shoot the birds.
Yes, and play marbles and those things like that. What boys do. Yeah, things like that.
So what did you do with these birds that you shot?
Ah, dear. You would be surprised, but I never eat birds. I always shoot them and sell them. So you always have people who don't have meat. And they would say, well, John, if you shoot any birds today, I'll buy them off you. So when I shoot the birds sometime, maybe 6 or 7, that person who says to me, well, whenever you shoot them birds, I'll buy them off you, I always take them birds to the person. I can't remember offhand, but I'll get some money. Maybe 2 shillings, maybe 1 and 6. But it was all right in them days.
Right, so you were a good shot then?
Yes, I used to shoot birds, yeah.
Right. Do you know what type of birds?
Various. We have John Chewy, P-dove, partridge, and we have a bird, they call it jumping dick. Jumping, yes, but in some parishes they call it jumping dick, some parishes call it hop dick. This is jumping, it's always
so
jump.
That's what he used to do?
Yeah, jump, fly and jump, And those kind of birds, you have many more, pichieri and, but you know that those were not for eating, those kind of birds. There are a few more,
Alright. So when you weren't shooting birds and playing with your cousins, what were you doing around the house? Were you helping out your parents?
Yes, you used to have chores, used to raise animals like cows. And in the dry season, you have to take go to the pond and we fetch the water from the pond, and we have like a thing, we call it a trough that you pour the water into.
Yeah.
And then the cows know where the water is, and when they're thirsty they would come and drink. And that was my chore, and to see that they was all right, you know, get some cane leaf, cut the cane and chop it up and give it to them. And banana, you know, the trunk of the banana, give it to them, and gradually normally look after them.
Yeah.
And then if there was anything else to do, like you know, pick breadfruit, we call it picking of breadfruit.
Yeah.
You climb the breadfruit tree and get one or two. We would do that and go to the ground, and you know, we plant yam, and we would dig some yam and take it home, and then that, you know, would do for dinner and whatever.
So you use it for your own
Yeah,
purpose?
yeah.
Do you sell some of the stuff?
Sometimes we sell it. Sometimes we sell it. If we have, you know, we have plenty. We can sell, not on a big scale, but we sell some.
All right.
To the individual.
So was it hard work?
It is hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work, very much so, because in Jamaica, you know, it's a hot country, and the sun gets hot very quick. You know, by 8-9 o'clock it's red hot, and therefore you have to go to that ground early. You got to make it there early, so that's when the sun is real hot. You have done a lot of work, so you can have a relaxing underneath the shade, because if you don't do that, you're losing too much water, you're sweating too much, and then you can have sunstroke. So it's hard work doing plowing fields and, you know, planting things.
Yeah. So how old were you at the time that you were doing this?
I would say when I was big enough, about 17, 18, 19, them years, you know, because I was big enough then, you know, because I finished school by then, and I was big enough to do those chores now, you know. That time, yeah.
Okay, so did you actually want to be a farmer? What were your ambitions for yourself?
Nah, I didn't want to be a farmer. It's hard work, and I didn't, you know, it's hard work, and I say it's hard work, and I didn't want to be a farmer. But my dad is a farmer, his dad is a farmer, and his dad before his dad is a farmer. So it's all come down in the line. But I wanted was to break away, because it's hard work, and the reward is all right, but there's not enough for you to live off. You understand? You know, you'll make a few shilling or a few pounds, but it's not enough to live off, you know, because by planting your crops, some crops take 6 months to mature. Some take 3 months, some take 4 months. So what you got to do in the meanwhile? So I didn't want to branch out that road. You know, I wanted something better. So when I leave school, I asked my father to my mother died going back. My mother died just before I leave school, and when I leave school now, I asked him if I can study further, you know, further medication, but he says to me, well, he can't afford it. You know, he can't afford it because he's just a poor farmer, and to buy books and etc., he can't afford it. So I was blighted there, you know. So he says, well, the best thing to do is to go with him to farming, but I didn't want that.
Okay.
See?
So when you couldn't continue your education, how did that make you feel?
I feel frustrated. Because looking back, you know, I was average, but I could make it. Because when I was in class, I used to help other children, and when I look now, they are inspector of this and they are teacher of that and whatever. So if I had little encouragement, you know, I could reach there as well. No, you don't know, I could reach there. So I was discouraged. But the next best thing, I said, well, learn a trade. Well, my uncle was a carpenter, so I didn't have to pay, because in Jamaica, to learn a trade, whether maybe mechanic or carpenter or mason, you got to pay. The top men, they want the professional who want paying. But my uncle was a carpenter, so he says, well, he'll learn me, but he won't charge. So I used to work for him then, buy his saw, plane, a hammer, and a chisel to start with the basic, And learning with him now, get a bit of insight. But I didn't go very far because, things didn't work out. Why things didn't work out is because he's the boss man and he gets like the money. They give him the job. We are little apprentices. And we still have to live. And at the end of the week or 2 or fortnights, when we would work hard every day, we get up, we go to work, you would think, well, we are young men and we need some pocket money, whatever. But he used to give us all sub stories, saying this and saying that, and we get discouraged there, because when we was looking for like maybe £2.50 or £3, he used to give us £1 and say, well, he should get X amount of money and he don't get it. And so he got to cut it down. And all that time it was untruth. He was just fabbing us off because we was young and we didn't know better. So that get me discouraged again, so I leave it.
So did your experiences in your apprenticeship, did they influence your decision to come to England at all?
No, they didn't. Why are coming to England now? Coming to England now, in Jamaica, Jamaica and America have a contract thing. So you have the farm workers in America who wanted labor from Jamaica.
All right.
So they have a thing that they call the card. You have each particular person will get 10 cards or 15 cards, and that person give it out to young men, more or less. Sometimes it might be family, sometimes it might be friends, sometimes the person might know your dad or whatever. So that's where I got the card. And you fill it in, whatever, and then you go back to the ministry. Then when the farm workers in America have the crops to reap now, they send for you.
Right.
And you go to points, some Kingston or Montego Bay, and you have a test. Medical test. And if you pass that medical test, you are right to go to America. If you don't pass it, like you fail, well, you go back home. So I passed. So from the pass now, they'll send for you. So I went to America and spent, it wasn't a year. And when I came back from America, I decided, well, not that I've seen the bright lights, but there's better life more than the farming. So I decided to come to England.
All right. So how old were you then?
About 24. 24.
So you came to England in
1960.
1960.
But coming to England here now, I had a friend in Nottingham. But we was on the contract on the farm working. So that friend have relation in Nottingham. So we was talking, and I said to him, if I decide to come to England, well, I'll stop with you until I find my feet, because at that time it was only rent rooms. So that's how
So
come
how
here.
did you travel to England then?
I traveled by ship.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the name?
Begona, I mean.
Bigona.
Oh, sorry, I just wondered if you did remember.
Yeah, Bigona.
Bigona. What was
Yeah.
the journey like?
It was, what can I say? First time travel on a ship. What can I say? It was an experience. It was an experience. The food wasn't so right, you know. We Jamaican used to yam and banana and saltfish and naki and etc. And there it was just either potato or rice, one potato or rice there and there.
Boring.
Yeah, oh gosh, it was boring. And then the wine was it's like every meal is wine, and the wine was like something sour, tastes bad. You couldn't drink it. And like us Jamaican, your beer is nice,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, your populated water is nice,
Yeah.
wine was rubbish. So, but it was an experience. We had fun, we had fun, and yeah.
So when you actually arrived in England, what were your thoughts? What did you think?
Oh no, I'm not saying let's rewind. No, I know that Jamaica is hard, right? And as a young man or a young person, the government doesn't do much for you. You either sink or swim.
That's in Jamaica.
In Jamaica,
Yeah.
you either sink or swim in Jamaica. It's not like here, where you will get looked after. If you're not working, you can go and sign on to the labor, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, I'm coming to England here, and whatever it may be, I got to rough it, I got to fight it, But coming to England here, the government of Great Britain, didn't do a lot for the immigrants that come here, because they didn't have anywhere for you to stop, like houses until you can find your feet. Because I've seen that when you have the English immigrants go to Australia, there was houses there. Australian make houses there. Although it wasn't nice, because the people complain that they got to wash. They have a wash bowl and everybody washing.
Yeah.
But still, yet it was better than coming here and don't have a safe place. But I decided to fight it. Come here and look at it, and it was cold because I came here in October, and it was cold in October. Them days it was cold.
Yeah.
But I decided, well, I come here already and I can't turn back now because I got no money. So I came here, not with not much money either. I didn't came here with much money. Just a little pocket money,
So you went straight to Nottingham?
Yes, we straight to Nottingham. I take the train and go to Nottingham. Yeah.
So what did you actually think of the England as a place, as a country? What did it look like?
Well, it didn't look like Jamaica to me. Yeah, it didn't look like when I seen the chimneys, and I was wondering what's those things on top of the houses, and it's all houses together and different buildings. It's not different building altogether, not the same as what we have in Jamaica at all. But it was an experience,
Did you think it looked worse or better?
Nice.
Or just different?
Just different, just not worse, just different, because you have worse houses in Jamaica. I believe me, you have worse houses, but it didn't look worse.
Okay.
But it looked different.
Right.
The roads look different to me, and everything, shops and everything, stores and everything look different.
So what was your accommodation like in Nottingham when you went there?
Just a room, we share a room, both of us sleep on the bed.
Yeah.
I didn't like it because I never sleep with a man before.
Is that a problem for you?
It was because I always try to make a space between us, like, you know, and so that he don't, what do you call it, in the night, really put his hand over there and what accident. I didn't like it, and the quickest possible way I left, I get a room just across here and leave.
Oh, right.
That I didn't like it.
So what were you afraid of in the night?
No, you never know people, you know. I don't know the person, you know. You only meet the person and it's in the States, like in America, and as friends you talk. But like sleeping together, man, I never do that before. You know, I don't, not inclined that way. No, I don't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So how, when you were looking for accommodation, how were you treated?
Well, I was treated alright because I never asked a white, you know, because the people them like who was living in that building would know another black family.
Okay.
So I would go and ask the black family, you know, give me the address. I go and ask the black family if they have any rooms to rent. And so in discrimination, I never go and ask a white, you know, because I would always, being as I'm new, I would always ask my own color to get, you know, put me right, you know, things like that.
What about meeting people on the street? Do you have any experiences with the English people here?
I say hi, I say hello. Say hello, like when I just came here, I say hi, hello. Sometimes they speak, sometimes they don't speak. And sometimes when you're traveling on the buses, I notice if I sit in this seat, there's two seats. I sit this side, there's the empty, you know, the empty space here. And they'll pass and go right down to the other end. Sometimes they stand up and they sit here. But I didn't know why. Until later on I realized that the prejudice, they don't want to sit beside you. Even if there was 10 seats and you there, they don't want to sit beside you. You understand? So they would go on up the bus and stand up if possible and hold on. And they would sit here. I don't know why, but I realized later on what was the problem. So there was racist or you know, prejudice, but I didn't know.
So when you found out about that, how did that make you feel?
Well, it didn't bother me because I said, well, if you want to sit, you sit. If you don't want, if you want to stand, you stand. You know, because I says, well, you are no better than me in the long run, because I said, well, if I cut you, you bleed, and if you cut me, I bleed as well. So I didn't bother, so long as they don't physically interfere with me. Then there will be a different thing, you know. I don't care who it is. You don't touch me, I don't touch you. All right, we'll go our separate ways. So yeah.
So what was it like finding work, employment?
Finding work. The first place I worked was a factory by the name of, they call it Beeston Foundry. That was in Derby. We have to take the bus from Nottingham to Derby. And what they make there is like cistern. You know, your toilet where the water is. That's what they make there. But to make that is like is a substance like you would need a dough, needing a dough, but that thing come in rubber form. So you wait and cut a piece off, and you put it in the machine, and that machine would come and press it and form it in this the cistern. But that job was, I used to have a packet of sweets with me. It was burning my chest, because it was, the fumes was coming off it. You know, you didn't issue with a mask or any breathing apparatus or anything like that. So the fumes was coming off it. and then it would, and it would burn my stomach, would burn my chest. So I didn't stop on it very long because I couldn't take it.
Okay.
So I left it. I left it, yeah.
Then you moved on to.
And I was off work for a while, signing on to the labor. And this person was saying to me, was living in Welling Hall, and at that time there was lots of factories in Welling Hall, plenty of factories, little factories here. And he says, well, if I come to Welling Hall, I should be able to get work, because in Nottingham there wasn't much factories around.
Okay.
You have the Raleigh factory where they make the bicycle and thing, but it was like, you would like family thing, each one tell one, and you wouldn't get through.
Okay.
So I came to Welling Hall and worked there for a time.
What year was that?
61. About 62, if I'm not right.
So not too long after you
Not
came.
too long after, yeah, not too long, about 62, yeah.
You found a job pretty quick?
Yeah, for pretty quick, yeah. 61.
61.
Yeah. 61, yes. Yeah, I found a job. Yes, I found work. Plenty work was here.
Working with British really.
Yeah, plenty work, yeah.
So what were your experiences when you came to Welling or Wolverhampton with English people?
The same. There was all the same. It was all the same. It was all the same because I remember I went to one factory and I asked if there's any vacancy, and the secretary, when I bring the bell, the secretary came out and she says to me, well, let's go have a look if they have any vacancy. And by this time, she didn't know that I was looking, because there's a glass door with a little glass panel in. And I was looking through it like that. And she only went round the back. I could see her.
Yeah.
And she only went as far as round there and spent a little time, a couple of minutes or so, as if to say she's searching for something.
Okay.
And when she came back, she says she's sorry, she ain't got no vacancy. And I swear a lot. I wouldn't say what I said, but I really give her a telling off. I say, I see what you done. I was looking through the glass on you, and I see what you done. You only went round there, and as if to say you done something, and there was no job, So you came back out to me, and that was a bit of a pretty, whatever.
So what did she say to that when she found out?
She just walk away, turn her back and walk away.
So how were you feeling? What were you thinking?
Well, as I said, I feel disgusted to know, why did she have to do that? She didn't have to do that, Why did it prove, It didn't prove anything. It just what can I say? It's not very nice. It's not very nice to discriminate, form of discrimination, and to know what gets me, to know, well, if the white people come to Jamaica, we treat them, whether maybe he or she, very good. We think very much of them. That's how we brought up, to think very highly of them. So we will treat them right. And you come into their country now, and they don't treat you right. But these ones are the ones that don't travel, and they don't know any better. If they travel amongst black people, they see how black people live and get on. Cause if you go to Jamaica now and you have white there mixed with the black, just as nice. No problem there. But they don't look at it that way here. It's as if we are invading their little, whatever.
So So what did you feel? Resentment, disappointed?
I did feel disappointment, but I didn't let it hold me back.
Okay.
I said, well, look, if you don't want to give me a job, if you more or less this, I'll try somewhere else. Although I was annoyed, but I tried somewhere else, and I did get through, and I forget,
Yeah.
past. Yeah.
So was it the same kind of treatment when you were actually working with white people?
No. Well, working with white people, we work together. We talk and work together. But one thing I find out with the white people, when you work with them side by side, whatever. But as soon as you come out the factory, they gone that way, you gone that way. It's like, once we are working, we are right. But once we are outside the road, well, each man for himself, or each woman for herself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, you were still a young man. You were what, 26 at that time, about?
Yeah, somewhere about
What did you do for leisure activities,
Oh.
social time? How did you spend it?
Oh, we used to have parties every Saturday night.
Every week?
We used to enjoy our party. We used to look forward to it because it's like what can I say? We were young then, and this is a form of our enjoyment because this was the only outlet. You was cooped up in the factory all week, and then you let your hair down at the weekend. What it was we used to enjoy more or less those times. We didn't have clubs those times. We have house parties. They use a word they call it shebeen. Shebeen.
What's that?
When
What's that mean?
you're gone, you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. So it used to be alright.
So does that mean that you stayed away from pubs?
Yeah, well, you don't get that enjoyment at pubs. You only drink at the pubs, but where you have your music, your dancing music,
And probably in those days, you white don't really want to mix, so
No. You have to make your own part, your own entertainment, so you used to go to the houses. Yeah. You used to packed, man.
Yes, I can well imagine.
Oh yes, you can't move. You can't move, yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about you're married now. Married for how long?
Oh,
Well, a long time.
long time.
30,
1963, 3 family, 10 years.
So how did you meet Sister
Well, it's a long story, long story. But yes, but what I would say, well, my district, where I live in Jamaica, my district in Westmoreland, my district is the name is Enfield. Her district, same Westmoreland, but is Bethel Town. Now, where I'm living, there's a white man by the name of Richard Williams, and he have a property, right? So he employ a lot of people, So her dad is a driver, and he need a driver. So on his property, there's houses that he make up for his people, employees. So her father came from Bethel Town to drive for him, so he stopped in one of those houses. So then he bring the whole family to Enfield, and that's how I met her.
So you knew her before you came to England?
Yes. I know from she was about, at that time she was about 17.
So she came after you?
Right?
She came to England after?
After me, yes, yeah.
And you got married?
And I got married, in 1963.
Do you have any children?
Oh yeah, 4. 3 boys, 1 girl. Mm.
So what was it like bringing up 4 children in England?
It's hard. Well, I didn't have I have 2 here. 2 were born here and 2 were born in Jamaica. So well, these 2 that were born here, we used to live in rented accommodation until we get a council house, 4-bedroom council house. And so we all live in that 4-bedroom council house. Yeah. Wasn't too bad.
So what were the differences about bringing up your own children compared to your own childhood in Jamaica?
Much better, much better, much better.
In what ways?
Well, they don't have to work hard as how I have to work hard. You know, they don't have to carry any water, the water at the tap. They don't have to feed any cows. There's no cows to feed. You know, and general chores, they don't have to look any wood or things like that. So they compare my life with them, they're much, much better. And they have the facilities that I didn't have. If they throw it away, it's up to them, but they did have it. I didn't have any facilities than what they have. They have better schooling more than me. You understand? Because once you're in England here and you can excel yourself, you move from one school to the other. I didn't have the money to give them private schooling, but if there was what do you call it, academically enough, they could excel. So they have a better prospect more than me. They have things to eat and things to drink and pocket money. I used to give them pocket money every week. All of them, 4 of them, pocket money every week. My father never gave me pocket money. Didn't have it to give me pocket money. So they were treated long way better than how I was treated. And they launch off a better platform more than me. Simple reason why they could afford to say, well, get a job, still living at home, and contribute to the what do we say? Well, to the house. Because they have to eat and drink, and if you're working, you say, well, here mom or dad, here's something towards the bills or whatever. And then they could able to save something from their wages, and then better off, because 3 of them now have a house. It's only one don't really buy his house, but there's 3 have bought their own home. And when so because they was able to have a better launch off, they could be able to save a bit more, which way I didn't have that privilege. So they brought up better than the way I did.
Do you think that they actually appreciate that they're better off being in England than you were? Do you think they appreciate that?
They do. They do. Especially the ones, the 2 of them who born, although they came here when they're young, but they will appreciate it more now if they should go to Jamaica and go in the country parts or whatever and see how the other half lives. Then they will see, well, I'm living in a palace and they are living in just in a little chicken coop. So better standard of living here more than there. Cause there's more money here to go around more than there. So if I tell them that I used to have it hard and how hard, they would hear what I say, but physically and seeing it, what I'm saying, they would appreciate it more. Now, sometimes they're telling me now that Daddy, I have it hard and whatever. But we never satisfy. We never satisfy. But they don't have it hard. If they have it hard, it's they make it to have it hard. Because sometimes you want to, you know, reach more than where you can.
The thing about you need to relate to the children exactly what you are doing now. Because that's what one of those of our here said, you should tell them about our background, where we're coming from and all that. And just in case, you know, because sometimes if you don't do that to the detail, they don't know.
So at least they know your background.
Yes, you know, I told him how hard I did have it, you know, etc., how, you know, so they...
Alright, so do you know how they got on in school with the other English children? Do you know of any bad experiences that they had?
Yeah, bad, very bad. And they didn't tell me about it, you know, they didn't tell me about it until late. I don't know, but they kept it to themselves, they didn't tell it. Because especially the two from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't get on well at all. They didn't get on well because, you see, black to black teaching in Jamaica is different from white to black teaching here. It's like, you know, if you didn't know anything or whatever, they wouldn't bother with you. And they didn't have no time for you. And I have an experience. I was on afternoon. Well, there's two experiences anyway. But I was on afternoon when I was working at Goodyear, and the lad, his name is Winston. He came home with his shirt, blood all over his shirt here. So I said, "What's happened?"
How old was he at the time?
Oh, can't remember offhand now.
Maybe it's about 30.
Somewhere about there.
30.
Yeah. He said the teacher knocked him on his nose and bleed it. I went straight away over there. So he told me what's happened anyway. He says he was playing with a ball and this girl wanted the ball off him. And, you know, boys is boys. He didn't give the girl the ball. But anyway, the teacher was looking through the window and see what's going on and say, well, he pushed the girl and whatever. So his teacher hit him on his nose, bleed his nose.
Yeah.
So when I went over there and I said to show me him, he was in a class. And I said, he called him and I said, come here, what's happened? I said, why you hit Winston on his nose? He's only a child. You should know better. He says he's rude and he was this and that and etc. So I knocked him on his nose and it was all, yes, it was all blood all over him as well. I said, how you like that? I said, how you like that? No, and now everybody, we was on the floor fighting and the teachers, they hear the commotion and they came in and said, what's happening? And they pulled us apart and things. And I told the teachers what happened. And they put him on one side and put me on one side and talked to us and said, all right, Mr. Lee, go home, whatever. And I didn't hear anything out of it. He know that he was wrong, so he didn't pursue anything.
Okay.
So that was that. So that kind of discrimination at school, you know. And he used to would be a good draftsman. That's what he wanted to do. But the teacher discouraged him and said to be a draftsman, it take about 10 years. And he said, oh, he can't wait that long to get anything. So he chucked it in. So he never reached nowhere. He discouraged him. Discouraged never reached nowhere. So he's in Goodyear working there now. Well, I don't know if he's at work now, but he got a job there.
So you felt that the white teachers did not support?
No, they did not support at all. Did not encourage. If he had encouraged him, instead of telling him about 10 years, if he had encouraged him and said, well, Winston, if that's what you wanted, well, carry on. You know, there's good at the end of it. You know, he would encourage him and he would think differently. But by telling him, it takes 10 years, you know, he's lost it.
So would you say that in education now, I mean, you may not know anybody who goes to school, but would you say that things have changed within schools regarding white teachers and black children?
I can't say. I hope so.
I think it was a bit better when he gone.
I-
When he gone, the daughter, she's the last one. When she was at school and left to go to Wolf Room, I remember when I took her, the teacher said, oh, when she saw the papers, she said, oh, she's got it up here. So I think it all depends. I think things have moved on a bit now.
Yeah.
Maybe you might find one or two.
There is still a thing, but one would say it can't be. It's hard to prove it. It's hard to prove it, but I think it might be getting better now.
Is that from what you see around how your experiences are now? Are they much different to when you first came?
I would say yes. There's even up that school. There's a black teacher up there.
Mrs. Gamble.
Yeah.
Coventry.
Where was it?
Nauticott.
Nauticott. You have a black teacher up Nauticott now.
Headmistress.
And whether it's the first or second or third one, but there's not much about. But at least she's there.
I think discrimination you can't stamp it out at all, because even she's a medical secretary at Compton, and she says sometimes when she was looking for jobs, sometimes you still get discrimination.
Yeah.
You still get it. It'll never die out. Never die out, but that's a lot better if you've got once you have passed whatever there's a word for it, can't come to me now. But once you have the qualifications, that's it.
Yeah.
They can't stop you.
Right.
Once you have the qualification, it got to be prejudice. But once you have it, you know.
Right. So did you, Mr. Lee, realise the importance of having a qualification?
Yes, I did. I did, because I told him, well, I've missed out. I've missed out, and you try and get something in your head, try and learn something, because I'll work the shirt off my back for you. You'll have to get somewhere, because education is a good thing, it puts you in good stead.
Yeah.
You have good jobs, and when you have good jobs, you have good money. When you don't have no education, you got to take what you get. If it's sweeping up, if it's any general labor or anything laboring, that's not much pay. There's not much money there. So I was saying to them, try to put it in the head. But I can only do so much. It got to come from within. If they want it really badly, then it come from within. But as I says, they all have a jobs. They all have their jobs now. They're not doing none of the worst. They're not doing too badly, But it could be better.
Yeah.
It could be better.
So you've been in England quite a while now. It's what, 40 years?
40 years.
You've been
Yeah.
in Wolverhampton for 30 years.
About 30 years.
So I presume that you've seen a lot of changes.
Oh yes. Yes. Road building. Factory building.
How about the town centre?
Town, yeah, changed a lot. The Manda Centre has changed. First time I remember buses used to park inside there. Now, unless you have an old picture, you couldn't tell where the buses used to be. They have, because they have dug the place that deep and make Manda Centre and all around. You have roundabout that wasn't there before, roundabout here, roundabout there, courthouse there, etc. Oh gosh, oh Lord, it's big change, big change.
Past CNE, they used to stop by CNE, the trolley buses, and then they go up Snow
Big
Hill.
change.
The old arcade used to have board. When you walk under there, boom, 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 under the arcade. That's from where Dudley Street going under the Manda Center.
Yeah.
I remember those places.
There's a lot of money spending here.
Yeah.
Plenty money spending. Plenty money. It has come a long way.
Yeah.
Long way from what it was.
Mm.
It's like one would say, well, it was a back street then, but it's a front street now. It's really come a long way. Long way.
I think that I don't want to put it. I think Wolverhampton. You don't feel like you would go anywhere else to live in England apart from Wolverhampton. You know, coming here and settling for so long. You know, it's just home.
Mm.
I'm not on about England as well, but Wolverhampton. I'm now in the country, but you know, I would live in Reading or Walsall, Bilston or anywhere. Wolverhampton, you know, it's a nice place.
Alright, so the actual town has changed a lot.
It's changed.
What
It's
about
changed.
the people there? Do you think race relations has improved?
Yeah, it has. It has because I've seen now more half-caste children more than any time in the world. You know, and first time I never seen any half-caste children, but now it seems to mix. The younger generation mixing now. You know, black boy, white girl, black boy. And that's the way it is now. It's changed a lot now, come to race, you know. You will have the hard-headed one, but on a whole, I hope the young ones they can learn them a thing or two. They get on well. Yeah. You want to see something, you're going in town on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then, well, I know you don't go, but if you're passing through there, the sea of people, black and white, going to this club, going to that club, going to everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed.
The only place you don't get a lot of black and white is in the churches.
Yeah.
Doing some more mixture.
So people mix socially.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you go to church now?
No, don't go. No.
Did you ever go to church before?
Yeah, go to church. Yeah.
Did black and white people mix then? Do you recall?
Well, I was going to the Adventist in Brooklyn Street.
Were there many white people there?
A few old ones.
Is Uncle Brother Belton leave now?
A few old ones that know what what they, yeah. That one white was Jeff. Was the only white young chap there. What was?
Yeah, sister Gittings and sister.
They all, yeah.
Sister Percival just died. Both died. Sister Finny Moore went up there and she died.
Yeah.
So it's only Brother Belton leave now.
So with the white and the black mixing together and many mixed race children coming along, do you think that is a good thing? It will be a good thing. It bound to break down the barriers. It might take 1,000 years or 100 years, but gradually will break down the barrier because the older ones will die off, and then the half caste or quarter caste come along and will take their space. So in the end, it bound to break it down and make it better. So, looking at Wolverhampton and the mix of people in there, there's white, there's black, there's Asian, and being here for such a long time, would you say that the black community has contributed a lot to it?
Very much so, man. Very much so.
In what ways would you say that they've done that?
Businesses, you know, whether maybe food, you have a lot of tandoori takeaway, Chinese, and in like what you would say, well, in clothing, you have, you know, shops, clothing, whatever. And you have factories that they make things. It has contributed a lot. Everything.
The part that you left out, like first with the living conditions. I think the Indians that came from India, they did us more good as West Indians than our own. You know, because we used to live with our own Jamaicans and oh Lord, they didn't treat us too good at all. I mean, a lot of people, you could write a book about it. But when you do get a room to rent from the Indians, oh, they were so good. You know, sometimes you can't afford to pay the rent, and they say, wait until you get a job. They were so good. You know, that's why I love them.
Yeah.
You know, because they used to really look after us compared to our own Jamaicans.
Alright. So you think the Asian community has contributed a lot?
It has
Yeah.
tremendously. I remember, like on Dudley Street, going fighting cocks. Not Dudley Road, not Dudley Street, Dudley Road. There was only a few. There was maybe one Indian shop on there, and now both sides road is Indian businesses. Maybe pubs, maybe shops, everything, clothing, whatever. They has come a long way, and contributes a lot to this town here.
So you can see a lot of Asian businesses.
Yeah.
But you don't really see that many black
No.
Why do you think that is?
No. I can't put my finger on it. I can't say it in one word what happened to business, but I think to be honest, I think Jamaican on a whole doing business want to get rich too quick. They want to get rich too quick. And Jamaicans are very show-offish. You understand? Boastful. They are very show-offish. If they have a business, they have to have a car to go with it. You know, and the biggest car, maybe the biggest Jaguar, the biggest BMW, to show off. And then the money wasted. They wasted the money. So therefore, if you waste your money in business, you lose that business. You know, if you have a business, big business, one you will say, well, all right, you get a reasonable car. Something reasonable, not something to show off. Because as soon as you show off, you're going to have trouble with the police. You're going to stop you. Want to know, well, how you come by this BMW, man? First of all, you know, well, it's your BMW. But being you so uptight, you tell him where to go. It causes trouble. You know, put something on you. Oh, your light not working. Your tire no good. And then, you know, he never stop until he run you out of business because he's stopping you and you get irate and you might end up going to prison. You might hit him, you might end up going to prison, might do something, might whatever, and then your business gone. But Jamaican on a whole want to get rich too quick.
And you think that's the problem?
And that's a problem. You have to take it steady and work your way up. And that's how the Indians work their way up. Because if the Indians have a business and he credit you some stuff, and he was, for argument's sake, he says, well, pay me £5 a week. And when he come to collect and you don't have more than £2, he take the £2 and he go and he's happy. But if a Jamaican do the same thing, if he come and you don't give him the £5, he curse you and swear in or whatever. And therefore, that's not good for business. You're going to say, if that's the way you're going to operate, I don't want anything more from you. So instead of you selling your stuff, you have your stuff. And then business gone down because you're not selling. To do business, you got to sell. You got to, you got to have an outlet for money to coming in roundabout way. So I think that's the main reason.
The Indians are prosperous from in the 60s when They used to, as I said, the Indian have a car and he uses that to do, he take his suitcases and things around. And then he said 2 and 6 a week, you get a coat and you get so and so and you pay 2 and 6 pence per week, you know, and that's where they start. Now, as my friend and I, one of my churches, was saying that this Indian man said, Jamaicans buy car to run around with women, but Indians buy car to do their business.
Right.
To, you know, start it from scratch
Yeah.
until they can get a little store or a little shop. You know, but you know, they were a big help in the 60s, really big help.
So, trying to wrap up the interview now. Looking back on your life in England, what would you say have been the major points in your life that you can think of?
Major points.
Personal achievements that you're proud of, or your family, work.
Well, I would say, well, I'm none of the worst. You know, I'm not, you know, I've achieved something since I came here. I've grown my family,
Good job.
my job, and I say, I'm happy. The over and above all, I'm happy to be here, and I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm glad that I came here, and as a young man, I've worked hard. You know, married and have my 4 kids, and they have come out of it. You know, and they are none of the worst either. They are outside here, they are not in prison, and they are getting on with life. So over and above all,
And you have your home.
yes, I'm happy here, and I wouldn't change it with the world. And one would say, I would say, God bless England. Yeah.
In what way?
Well, it has, as a young man, coming here, it has opened a way for me to make a better life for myself.
Okay.
You know, I doubt if I was in Jamaica, I can't rewind to be in Jamaica. That's gone, that's history.
Right.
I could be worse off, I could be better off, I don't know. I got to say what I am now.
Yeah.
That I'm happy to come here and achieve what I have achieved, you know, and live a better standard of living, and everything comfortable and well off. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are your hopes for the future then?
Well, my hopes for the future is to have a healthy life, a long life, and hope that whosoever left behind will have a happy life as well.
Good sentence.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for granting this interview.
Thank you very much as well for asking.
All right. No
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.